Here's the situation. Two men are brought into a room for a challenge. The challenge is that for 24 hours you cannot harm the other person. The first man, thinking that this is really simple, brings nothing, sits in the chair calmly, and waits for the challenge to start. The second man, thinking this is a very difficult challenge, brings handcuffs in order to restrain himself, and he also sits down. Now the clock starts, and the first man politely says that this is going to be a really easy challenge. The second guy says, "Speak for yourself." Some time passes, and the guy, thinking it's kind of awkward, tries to shake his hand, but the other guy just rips back and tries to break free of the handcuffs. Hours later, the calm man kind of realizes that nothing's working, so he sits there in silence. But even that silence frustrates the handcuffed man, and so he starts really trying to break free. Story goes on. 24 hours later, the door opens, and we find one man sitting calmly in the chair, and the other man exhausted on the floor because he's been trying to break free of his handcuffs the whole time. Now, both men have successfully accomplished the goal of not harming the other person. But who do you actually trust outside of this room, and why? All right, everybody, welcome back to Wisdom Shorts Podcast, your go to spot for down to earth, deep thinking, and philosophy made approachable. I am your host, Jet. We have with us again Juuna'e Dai'Re, author, apologist. Y'all already know the whole shebang. And yeah, we're talking about Wisdom Shorts, Book One. This is going to be the last story in the Wisdom Shorts. So yeah, let's try to break it down a little bit. What's your well, first of all, who do you trust? Who do you want to
Hmm.
basically do anything with except fight?
I think the guy in the handcuffs. I'm kidding.
Mm,
The other one.
okay. Okay, you like
The,
the whip.
the other one.
The other one, the one that had Chris. Okay, okay. Wait, what's your logic behind it though? Both of them passed the test, so clearly both of them should be trustworthy people.
Well, it's one of those things where it's like if somebody's gonna do something, if somebody can do something within their own willpower versus like your will to do something, your self control and discipline to do something versus you having to actually set boundaries and all that for yourself, like confine yourself.
Mm.
That's just evidence of someone who's stronger versus the person who's weaker. And I think we can make an argument from that, or an argument for that, from just how we deal with real life with kids getting older, like how we raise children. It's like you don't trust that a child is not going to be able to not touch the stove and like a 2 year old walking around, or they're not going to unlock the front door and open it, or they're not going to, it's like that's why we have supervision for a reason with kids. So I
Right.
feel like you have to put a kid in their crib. It's like you have to confine them because they don't have the self control. You don't trust them in order to be able to, follow whatever the rule is or whatever. So, yeah, but somebody who can sit there and not do anything. And that's the same thing with like addiction. If somebody's like, oh, maybe they're an alcoholic or maybe whatever it is, it's like it could be food, someone who says, like, oh, I could be around donuts and cake and I'm fine. I'm not going to eat it. Like, or maybe I'll eat one, maybe. It's like, but the person that's like, no, I can't even have that around me or else I'll eat it. Clearly, you see who's more, self controlled and who has more discipline and all of that. So, yeah, that's how I see it.
Yeah, nah, this is really good. This especially hits the Christian spaces strong, but I think in general, like we don't do a very good job of distinguishing the difference between character and actions or works,
Yeah. Hmm.
deeds. And so this is one of those analogies or stories that should kind of make it painfully obvious that if you could only pick one, you definitely want to have self control. And there's a time for restraints, but we almost have to see restraints as weakness. I think sometimes we almost praise restraint as self control. and it's not
Yeah.
quite the same thing. And so it's like, ah, man, that guy never goes to the bar. He's so self-controlled. It's like that's no, like he might actually be a maniac who always gets drunk, you know?
Hmm.
Like, and so there's a sense in where it's like, yeah, like being able to actually discern the difference between, yeah, a character issue and well, not a character issue, a person that has character in them versus a person who has a bunch of, I almost like to think of it like armor. Like, it's like, yeah, there's certain people that are like, I don't know, you're not a superhero person, but that's how I think of Iron Man. Iron Man is a very squishy human being when he's not in his suit. Like he is just another person. But it's like when you think of Thor and Hulk and all the other people he's running with,
Hmm.
these people don't, they wear a costume for fun. You know?
Right. Hmm.
Like he's the only one who wears a costume to live. And so it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, you're the more power you can have on the deeper part of yourself, the better
Hmm.
off you are. And so, yeah, some of us are just knights running around in like 300 pounds worth of armor, but underneath it all, we can't take a punch. So,
Yeah.
long analogy, but yeah, I definitely think yeah, that hits a lot of the meat of this one for sure.
Yeah, I literally just thought about even what we consider honorable, like even in relationships, because that's something everybody can relate to. It's like when somebody just remembers your birthday versus I had to set a reminder to remember your birthday. It's not
Right.
that we think that's bad. Like we're like, oh, you have so much stuff on your plate. Maybe you need to set a reminder. It's like, but for somebody that's just like, no, I know your birthday is November 20th. Like
Mm,
I know. Or with marriage, it's like, oh, my wife is so faithful, or my husband is so faithful. And it's like they're faithful. Why though? Is it
mhm.
because they're not in those positions? Like,
Yes.
it's like, what would your husband do if he just so happened to be surrounded by all these women? Like, what would he do? It's like, if the opportunity presented itself, we would see it as more honorable if they still walked out of there with self control rather than being like, man, I'd have to be in handcuffs and chained for
Hmm.
like something that way I don't go over there to all of those women or something. It's like,
Yeah.
well, that means we can easily see the problem with that. It's like you shouldn't be with him because
Yeah.
the handcuffs are the only thing keeping him from cheating on you or being faithful. That's a problem. That means, like you said, the inner self, his heart, his his love for you isn't really there. He's just being constrained. So,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, like everybody wants someone who wants to be there, not someone who chooses or has to be there. And so yeah,
yeah,
you don't get to lock your wife in a basement and call her faithful. Um
right.
like she can't do anything but be faithful down there.
He's
Like,
psycho.
huh?
That's what I'd call him, psycho, for locking his wife.
I mean, yeah, yeah, we definitely have other conversations to have. But but yeah, no, that is definitely the crux of this wisdom short. And I don't know, I think it's between maybe this one and the first one. I'm not sure which one. The other one is the kid with the 5 times 5 thing, but I don't know which one is the most straightforwardly true. But this is another one that seems very apparent on first glance, and you don't really need. Yeah, like it's a straightforward thought. So I love it for that. But yeah,
Yeah,
yep, yep. Okay, well, shoot, I don't even want to beat this one up too much. I think this is I mean, yeah, that is the story. That is the point. Do you have any closing thoughts for it, though? Is there anything that comes to mind?
yeah. I would say based off of what it's about, I would say like we could all learn from that in the sense of for our own selves and for others. Like, so I have two thoughts. One would be for our own selves, it's good to set a goal for anything that we're doing to where we are actually trying to make everything genuine that we do, not having to have boundaries in the same way you expect a kid to mature to not need a bedtime to know to go to bed on time. Like,
Right.
because you got to get up early. You shouldn't need mommy and daddy to tell you go to bed at 8:30 because you have this tomorrow. It's like, okay, since my parents are the handcuffs to make me go to bed, I guess I will. It's like No, I think we should want, to be wise and actually like go to bed early if we have work tomorrow in the morning or school or whatever it is. Um, yeah. And then, so yeah, the maturity thing, like actually striving for that. But then also recognizing it in other people as well, like paying attention to why people do what they do, what are their motives, because that helps us to move differently, um, or to know how to move with other people. Like if somebody is doing something out of obligation or ritual or routine, law, rather than they're doing it genuinely, like I think that will just breed better relationships even in your life if that's what you're looking out for. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, nah, 100% agree. Character over deeds all day. And dang, what else was I gonna say?
Love
Yeah,
over
yeah,
law.
yes, love overall. Love it. Someone really,
Over
really
law. Love over law.
love over law, love
Yeah.
over all. I guess basically the same thing. Yeah, don't be the kind of person that when the purge happens, we got to be worried about. You should just be good.
Yes.
But yeah. But anyway, y'all, this is Wisdom Shorts. This has been actually the final book in it. And yeah, as always, let us know your thoughts. Let us know if you feel like the true restraints analogy holds true. You can find this on it. Well, you can find it on Amazon, but you probably don't want to get it on Amazon. You probably want to go to wisdomshorts.com. It's a little cheaper there. And yeah, love to get y'all support, love to get the feedback. But yeah, besides that, do all the like, subscribe, and YouTube stuff, and we will catch y'all in the next one. Peace.